What is up, guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. Now, this video is going to be a little bit different than all my previous ones. If you haven't seen previously on my channel, I mentioned that I'm about to go through a huge, major life change, and I want to bring you guys along with it. And that major life change, as you might have guessed, is I moved across the country from Montana all the way to Dallas, Texas. And this is where I'm going to be living for who knows how long, because I got a new job down here. And essentially, I wanted to film this entire video just walking you guys through the entire journey, all the physical aspects, all the mental aspects of moving across the country, and just maybe even some of the emotional sides of moving across the country, away from all your family, away from all your friends. And honestly, I know no one in Dallas, Texas. And so moving here right after college is going to be a major adjustment, and I want to walk you guys through kind of my thought process through this whole journey. And I kind of want to show you guys how I grow in this new city, and hopefully you guys can learn a little bit from my experience, and maybe it helps you in your own lives. So currently I am actually outside the new gym in Dallas, Texas that I'm going to be going to, and that gym is going to be absolute recomp. I don't know if you guys can see it that well, but this is going to be the new gym that I go to every single day, and I'm super excited. I will go in there today, set up an account, all that fun stuff. I'm not gonna film anything in there today or for this video, but I will make a separate video and walk you guys through this crazy gym, because I promise you it is insane inside. From just the pictures I've seen, it is going to be awesome, and I'm very fortunate that I get to have something in the area that I just moved to. But for the purpose of this video, I'm going to cut now to me walking around my apartment now that I have fully taken everything out of the U-Haul, furnished it, gotten everything in the closets, gotten everything in the drawers. I did everything I needed to. It has been 2 to 3 full days of driving, and then it was another 2 days of unloading the U-Haul, and then it was another day of just adjusting. So this past week has been crazy, but I wanted to take you guys along with my journey of moving across the country. So stay tuned for that right now. All right, guys, so after the long-awaited multi-day move-in of setting up furniture, unloading the U-Haul, all that fun stuff, it is officially time to show you guys the new place that I will be living in here in Dallas, Texas. So starting off here, we have the living room. There's Champ, one of my cats. You can see the TV setup, couch. The couch ended up being really good fit in this space, and I'm really glad it turned out this way. So super excited about that. I've never had an area where I can kind of relax and just kind of watch a show that's not on my computer or iPad or anything like that. And then over here, like you might have seen, this is going to be my computer setup workstation type thing. All my videos get edited here, and then obviously some video games if I want to play with friends, that is also going to get done here. And down here is my cat Bob. It is his brother. But yeah, this is going to be the dining room, and you can see their cat tree there in the corner. But this is just a nice thing to have. It's nice to be able to eat your meals not on the couch or not at your desk. So that's why I got this here. You can see out there I have a patio space, and there's some storage out there. Now moving over to the kitchen, there's still a few things kind of all around. I'm still finishing up the move, but we got the whole kitchen space right here, the rice cooker, which is a necessity, and then we have the stove, food scale, obviously another necessity. And then moving into the bedroom, this is pretty much finished for the most part. I was able to build the whole bed. So this is where I get that recovery for bodybuilding. That's sweet. And then obviously we got the cat stuff, dresser. And then in here we have a really sweet closet. It's actually a lot of space, so I'm super fortunate. Once I fill this space out, I don't have any kind of clothes in here yet. But yeah, super awesome area. And another place I wanted to show you guys is the main bathroom. This place is sweet. Look at this mirror. It's awesome. Gonna take some crazy pump pics in here, I'm sure. But yeah, pretty much a basic 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment, I guess you could say. I'm super excited and super fortunate that I get to have my own space. It is something that I've never really had aside from my own room in a lot of places. So having this whole area and knowing that every time I come home from work or the gym or just anything that I'm out doing, knowing that it's my space and I can come home and everything inside of it is exactly how I leave it when I leave. It just really is a nice thing to have that peace of mind. Now, after I showed you guys my whole apartment, I really wanted to sit down and talk to you guys about this whole process of moving. Now, obviously, like you might have seen at the beginning of the video, is a little bit of my journey down here. I had the U-Haul. For a little bit, I was even towing a trailer that I was bringing down here to Texas, and I got paid from U-Haul to do that. So that was a new experience. Towing, driving the U-Haul was another new experience. I really have never driven big vehicles like that, especially for long distances. So that was a new experience in itself. But overall, the drive was pretty mellow. Having those 2 or 3 days to just kind of grind it out and get here, I was very kind of relieved once I was able to get down here. So once I got here, it really did feel amazing. And then once I got here, I had kind of 3 days of just moving in, getting settled, and getting into a somewhat normal routine of setting up my entire place. So now that it's finally pretty much finished, it is so relieving. It feels so great to have the couch, have the TV set up, have all my computer stuff set up, and just kind of be able to slow down a little bit, get good workouts in, get my meal prep meals done. So like a lot of those little things that I was very used to in my previous place up in Montana, having that set up down here now in Texas really is awesome. And like I said, having my own place and having all these little things get to be something that I created, I guess, something I built, something I decided where it was all going. It really does feel nice. And over the next few weeks or months, there will be additions to this place. For example, this wall, I want to fill it with paintings and cool things that I just really enjoy. There's other like little things I want to add here and there, and maybe I'll show you guys that as they change. But overall, the journey really was long. It was stressful of moving an entire like place and trying to bring it down 1,600 miles away, and living in a new area is so different. It's so exciting. It's just so different, but I can really see myself kind of spreading my roots down here. Like having a gym that's as nice as the one that I'm going to, which I showed you guys a little bit at the beginning of this video, Absolute Recomp. I'll make a whole video about that gym because it is honestly insane. And right after I filmed the intro of this video, I went in and got my first workout in, and it was a crazy gym. I've never seen anything like it. And just having a good place, or a good third place, I guess you could say, that really has such a great energy, I feel like is going to be a great place for me to kind of place my roots down in a city like this. In terms of third place, obviously everyone talks about your apartment or where you live is your first place, and then your job is going to be that second place because you spend 40 plus hours a week there. And then it's really good to have that third place. That's all the advice I've always heard when it comes to moving to a new city by yourself, is get a good third place. And fortunately for me, the gym has always been a part of my life as of recent. And by recent, I mean for the past 5 years, it's been a very large part of my life. So getting to move to an area where the gym is prioritized a little more than when it was in Montana. Obviously, there are people that work out pretty consistently in Montana, but the vibe and the energy is very different up there. A lot of people like to stick to themselves when it comes to the working out, whereas here, going in that gym, it really just felt like a crazy energy of everyone's pushing each other, everyone's trying to get more jacked, everyone's like bodybuilding. It really is a crazy environment to be in, and so I'm very fortunate that I get to claim that as my main gym, or claim that as like where I go pretty much every single day after work or whenever I decide to work out. Another thing that I didn't film as much of was I actually got to spend an afternoon and a morning a little bit with my best friend, who I might have mentioned previously. He was moving from Alabama all the way back to California to our hometown, and on that drive over, he spent the night at my place when it was pretty much unfurnished. We just had my mattress in the room. Nothing was built. Nothing was even brought upstairs, and he spent the night on an air mattress. But we did go out and get dinner, and just kind of getting to see him after a little bit of time. I don't think I've seen him since December this past year. So it was a really good thing to kind of see him before we both entered this new journey in our lives. Because obviously we both graduated very recently from university. So kind of getting to see him, just touch base before we both kind of journey on to this upcoming summer and starting these new chapters in our lives, it really felt great, and it was a good energy to kind of get to experience right when I move into this new place. As far as the mental side of moving across the country, I guess you could say, to a completely new area. Like I said, it really was stressful. The moving and putting everything in the truck, all those little things were really just very stressful. I was anxious. There were a lot of things that just like I could feel myself kind of struggling with. And then once they were done, it kind of helped a little bit to get on the road and start the drive down here. And then once we got here, it was relief, but also stress and anxiety of having to move all that stuff up 3 flights of stairs because I'm on the 3rd floor. So now, in hindsight, now that everything is pretty much done, there's not a lot of heavy lifting anymore. There's no real cardboard boxes filling my hallways. After all that stuff kind of has settled, and obviously now I am here in Dallas fully alone, essentially, other than my 2 amazing animals. But I'm here alone. I don't know anyone here in Dallas. I haven't really met anyone here in Dallas. Overall, it is exciting. That's the word I would use as of now. I'm sure in a few months, if things start to get a little worse or I start to get more stressed about not meeting people, maybe that will change. But as of now, I spoke with my parents about this, and I really do feel like I'm ready to take this next step in my life. I feel like I've put in so much work during college to be that person who is consistent in the gym, be that person who's grinding on their extracurriculars or the things that interest them, like businesses or like I said, the gym, businesses, anything that interests you and benefits me, I'm trying to like focus on. That includes reading, just getting out there and trying new things. That has been something that I've been trying to prioritize throughout college. And so now that I'm getting put in the situation where people that never had that experience of trying those new things, they're getting bombarded with all this just overstimulating stuff, like moving into a brand new place, trying out a brand new gym. Like, these are all things that I've kind of already gone through. I've already experienced so much of that traveling alone, trying out new gyms, working a lot. So those are core things that I believe I put in the effort while I was in college. And so now that I'm getting to do them again, but without the stress of having school added on top, I feel like I'm excited. That's the easiest way to kind of put it. I feel like I'm ready for this next chapter. And obviously I know a lot of people who didn't do that in college, who didn't get that consistent gym schedule in, who didn't track their meals, who didn't get their diet dialed in, and away from like the bodybuilding aspects, who didn't kind of find that third place, who didn't kind of just make sure that they are in the right headspace as a person and understand who they are. These are all things that are so crucial to us as human beings. I think it's super important that if you know who you are, what you enjoy, what you prioritize, then when you have to go through huge life changes like I have in the past 2 weeks of graduating college, moving across the country, starting a new job here soon, moving into a brand new apartment and living on your own for the first time. These are all things that if you didn't have that core foundation of good eating habits, good physical habits, and good mental habits, it's very easy to get lost in the smoke because it is a stressful time. And like I said, it was stressful for me too. But now that I have kind of everything set up, now that I have some prepped out meals in my fridge, now that I have the food scale, now that I have the couch, the TV, the computer set up, now that I have all these things in place, which obviously setting up was very stressful, I now feel ready. Now I feel like I'm ready to just get a running start and just go for it. Try new things, try the new gym, get great workouts in, meet new people, just do whatever I am really passionate about. And that's something that I'm very fortunate that I don't kind of have to figure out. I don't have to figure out how to try out a new gym or meet new people or get my diet in the right space now that I'm living on my own, because there are a lot of things that can kind of fall apart when you move into a new space, especially if you don't have the accountability that you do in college, or maybe if you're even younger in high school. When you're living on your own, graduated college, you have no responsibility other than the fact that you need to make money, pay rent, and have food to eat. But other than that, you can do anything else. Like, there's a lot more time in the day than you think. And so having that structure, having that foundation that I developed throughout college really is making it so this move is less stressful now that it's done, and gives me that feeling of excitement, gives me that feeling of being ready. So these are just kind of my initial thoughts mentally, how I'm feeling in the moment, because I'm sure a lot of this stuff will change in the coming weeks or coming months as I get used to living on my own in this brand new city. But overall, it was a lot. That's the easiest way to put it. Moving, starting a new job here soon, graduating college, getting to see all my family, driving a U-Haul for 3 days, unloading the U-Haul, unpacking, building furniture, like all this stuff that I've experienced in pretty much just the past 1 week or so, maybe 2 weeks. It just really is crazy, and I can't wait to see what the future has in store for me. And if you guys enjoyed this video at all and want to stay tuned for more of what is to come, feel free to hit that like button and subscribe. This video is just a little glimpse into the process of my move, and there will be a ton more content that I can film here. Like I said, that gym tour / showing you guys around that gym is going to be a whole video in itself because of how amazing it is. And then obviously every single week on Tuesdays, stay tuned for the Tuesday Talks, where I really just talk about kind of what has happened to me in the past week and what is to come in the future weeks, and give you guys that insight to my life. Because in the end of the day, I'm trying to build a community of people who just want to be better human beings and want to work towards something that makes them better. And so that is why I constantly talk about the gym and reading and being a good person and your finances. There's so many aspects that I think maybe men specifically, but also women, can work on and can benefit from hearing and seeing someone talk through the topic. So having me here making these videos, I hope makes it a little bit easier for you guys to process some of those topics, because I'm going through life one day at a time, just like everyone else, and hopefully my perspective is helpful in some way. So again, if you enjoyed this video, feel free to hit that like and subscribe button and tune in for future videos. Remember, keep grinding, keep working hard every single day towards your goals, and make people remember your name. Peace out, guys. I'll see you in the next one.